Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Influencer Radio Experience. You are now listening to Influencer Radio. I think last week we talked about we are the most dangerous.
Yeah,
I think that was the word that we coined last time. We are the most dangerous.
We are the most
business show.
And it must have worked because this is episode 2.
This is episode 2. They told us to come back.
We got to come back. So I mean, the experience of being on here and being able to share business news with our community is just something that is just something that's really needed.
Yes, it is, and honestly, it is so much opportunity out here. And what I want to do is, and what we want to do with the show is start to dispel a lot of these myths, thinking that these opportunities are not for us as a people, and we don't have the same advantages as anybody else. We want to help relay some information to you guys and make sure that you guys are able to take advantage of a lot of these opportunities out here, because it's not so much that we are shut out of these opportunities, it's the fact that we don't know about them. So we want to make sure that everybody understands the opportunity that's available to them and show them how to capitalize on that and take advantage of it. Today we got a lot of stuff going on today. We got a guest today.
We got a guest, illustrious, nothing but illustrious.
Illustrious. She's illustrious. That's what I hear. She's an author. She is a celebrity hairstylist. She knows everybody in the industry, and she will be on with us today. What else are we going to be doing today?
We're also going to be talking about the hot topics in business news. So we have, of course, the Forbes list. They just listed the top highest earning athletes in the world.
Wow.
And we also have an article about the gap of black wealth.
Okay.
So
I think that's definitely something that we need to address, and it's something that we need to really get into, because I think a lot of times we get kind of caught up on the things. And like, oh, he got the Lamborghini, oh, he got the Lambo, and this type of stuff, but we don't really think about, what does the real bank account looks like? What does the wealth look like? What do we own? What are we producing? This type of thing. So I think that's a great thing for us to cover today.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we get into all that, we want to talk about some of the things that we've been dealing with the week. We as some of you guys don't know, is new to the show. We are a digital agency, and so we have a lot of different clients. We work with a lot of different businesses, from large corporations to, small businesses. And there's, sometimes we like to cover and give advice on some reoccurring topics of the week. So this week has been about controlling your narrative.
Okay.
A lot of our clients have been coming to us and having to deal with controlling your narrative, getting the story right, because
getting the story out there.
Part of that story is it goes along with your branding. Like, how do people perceive you? How do people perceive you in the market? How do people perceive you online? How do people perceive you on social media? And so it's about controlling narrative, and that is so crucial in today's world, about controlling narrative, because there's so much news and content out there that is very easy for someone else to post a story about you, and if you don't have a rebuttal, if you don't have a way to get your content out there for you to control the narrative, then you can then anything can be said about you.
That's true.
Think about a Yelp review. How many of you all have businesses that are on Yelp and have bad reviews because you don't have somebody controlling your reputation? You don't have anybody really helping to create that narrative for you. So what are some ways, Kevin, that like people can, or businesses, and not even businesses, but even people, because personal branding is everything now. Like what's out there. If I Google you and I'm a potential employer, and I Google you and something crazy comes up, like you out in Cabo and you wild out, and that's the first thing that came up on your Facebook page, or first search results on Google. What are some ways that people can control the narrative just by search? Okay.
One thing, real quick, before we get too deep into this, because we learned last time we got to take commercial breaks. I don't know if nobody else has ever done radio and this type of stuff, but we got to take commercial breaks. We got to be able to pay for some of this information that we send to you guys. If you are concerned about your reputation, and we're about to get into this, and we'll talk about this and kind of go a little bit into this subject, but if you are concerned about your reputation, if you do own a business, whether it's brick and mortar, whether it's online, your reputation means a lot. So if you have a business, or if you're trying to start a business, the main thing that what we want to help you with is that reputation. We want to help you, gain reviews, whether it's an Amazon product, whether you're a brick and mortar. We can help you as far as bringing customers in through doing, the proper Google reviews and business listings and this type of stuff. So if you are a business, do me a favor, go to Influencer 365, go down, all the way down to the bottom of the page. Yeah, we got some fly videos. Yeah, we promoting a couple things like that. But go down to that bottom of the page, send us your information, let us know. Tell us a little bit about your business and tell us, some of your goals and some of the things that you're trying to do in business. And let us have that conversation with you. Let us talk to you about their reputation, how you can manage that reputation online, and how you can make sure that you set your business up for success from day one. Okay? So we're going to go pay a few bills, do some commercials real quick, and then we'll be right back, and we'll get into this whole thing about telling your story, controlling your narrative, and then controlling that reputation online. And we are back. You are tuned in to us right here at Influencer Radio, and we're talking about telling your story and controlling your narrative online today. So before we went to commercial break, we were talking about a little bit about reputation management. What is reputation management? Because I hear this phrase out here so much, and you see all these agencies charging all this money for reputation management. Is it worth it? Should I be paying for reputation management? And what is reputation management?
Reputation management is something that a lot of businesses are starting to get into, but they really don't know how to manage it because there's so many review sites on it.
Oh my God.
Kind of a simple, definition of reputation management is just, or reputation really is how you're perceived. So all these Google ratings, from your Yelp ratings to if you're a doctor, your ZocDoc rating or Health Grade rating. How you're all these review sites. There's so many review sites out there now, and people look at that when they go to a restaurant, when they go to a business, when they're looking for your services. They look to see how many stars you have. I mean, it's true though. Businesses have been kind of categorized by stars, right?
It's true though, but it's just like any other thing, before you go see a doctor or before you go get your haircut, hey man, this barber any good, or this type of thing. So the main thing about this reputation thing, and the reason why it's so important, is because these are real people, it's real customers talking about your business, and they're talking about, hey, I love this service. Like for instance, my barber, is a funny story. So I went and got my haircut this morning, of course, but my barber was like, man, I watched the show online and stuff, man. Y'all doing a good job, man. But that haircut I put on you. But the beautiful thing I like to say about my barber, and the thing I like to tell about my barber shop, is the simple fact of, I knew him back when he was just cutting hair and he just had a chair. And when he decided to open up his barber shop, what we did, we simply set up his Google business listing. And we started asking customers, hey, go in and, leave us a review. Did you like your haircut? Leave us a review. He got a whole bunch of 5-star reviews. And just from this one Google business listing, we didn't do Yelp. We didn't do all these other things. No diss to Yelp. Y'all want to pay me some money? I do. We can talk about you. But but all we did was just the Google business listing. And we have brought in over 40, 50 customers into his business. Now think about this. 50 customers coming in. Most time you're going to get your haircut. I get my haircut once a week. Mm-hmm. I got to stay flat. Yeah. I got to. I ain't got no choice. Yeah. But, most people going to get their haircut at least once or a couple times a month. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about $25. That's $50 times 50 people times 12 months. Look how much income we were able to bring into that business just by doing the proper business listings on Google and making sure that we got a few reviews there. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, that's for a business, that changes the bottom line. It really does. Like most businesses, I think they just don't know. It does not really take a whole bunch of money to be able to pay your staff and pay your bills. I think folks think that I started business is going to take hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not necessarily, not all the time. I mean, you need to make sure that you got some income saved up somewhere, but we don't need $100,000 to start a business. A lot of times, some of these businesses that we start, $5,000, $10,000, and with the proper online marketing, we can get you profitable and we can get you going within about 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and it goes back to controlling the narrative, right? Because all of it is still consumer behavior. These stars and how they are reflected of your business is how people think. if I see a business that is, or a restaurant that is 3 stars, and I see another restaurant that's 4 stars, I'm going to think a little bit differently about that 4-star restaurant than that 3-star restaurant.
Exactly.
Even though I've never been to either one of them.
Yeah.
And so that's why these things are important, because it's about controlling the narrative. How can you get people to, if you're a business owner, you're in it every single day.
Yep.
You understand how your business operates. You feel that I have the best business out there. And so let that reflect out there online. Control your narrative in a lot of different ways. Not just by, and it's a lot of ways that these ratings can be, concluded, as far as even in Google searches. From your social media to your website to
Yep.
these reviews, like the robots. I mean, even Google's now using real people to look at websites, even say that, hey, this is a quality website, and so let's put this higher up in the search ranking. So that even higher up in search rankings determines the amount of traffic that actually comes to your website.
And then the thing that also that people need to understand, Google is going to trust their information first. So when you do a Google business listing versus these other people, and trust me, I'm not getting paid by Google. I'm not. I'm just trying to tell y'all what works.
Yeah.
But Google need to pay us some money. If Google is watching, I do so much for y'all. Y'all need to sponsor a show. Let me get $1,000, y'all sponsor a show. But that's just for Google. If anybody work for Google, if y'all know the owner of Google, I don't know who owns Google now. I don't know. But it's not Jeff Bezos, I know that. But if Google is watching, sponsor a show. Yeah. Facebook too, Mark, I know you got the bread. I know you got it. But that's all right. But back to what we were saying, with Google Business, they trust their information first. So when you're putting this information and you're getting this verified through Google, when you put that business listing on there and you verify that information, what you're going to find is, everything that's tied to that listing is going to start coming up higher in page ranks. And this is important. When you have a business, and the reason why it's so important is the way our society works now. If you're out somewhere and you're looking for somewhere to eat, you're looking for somewhere to shop, somewhere to get your hair cut, any of these type things, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to go to your phone, you're going to go into that Google, if you're trying to buy that new iPad, or if you're trying to buy the fresh new pair of jeans, or whatever it is you're looking for, you're going to go to Google and you're going to find out who got it.
Exactly.
And when you go into that search and you go into Google Local and you're looking for a haircut and this barbershop is across the street, Google is going to make sure that they serve that information up to you. That's why this is so important to a business, because we live in a society now that is so mobile and there's so much information out there. It is so important to make sure that you are in all the proper places. So therefore, when I'm out and I'm searching for something and I'm just right around the corner from you, that you're pulling up on my phone.
And you said something right around the corner, right? So think about that. For a lot of businesses that cater towards more of a localized market, not everybody is trying to do national, not everybody is trying to be global with their business. Some people are just trying to get the people right there in their own community, within their own city. And so having these reviews are very imperative as far as for localized marketing, and actually is more effective for localized marketing. And so, if I'm looking for, generally when people are searching for things, they're looking for things that are going to be right around their community, right around their area. Just like my gym. My gym is literally, I can run to my gym. I calculate it's about a mile from my house, and I run to the gym. But the thing about it is that it's so close to my house, I look for everything. Sometimes when I get home, I don't want to come back to the city. I want to stay and do things around the area, especially the things that I need on
this
basis.
Amazing hearing that from you, Brian, because you don't like to come out the city, bro. You talk about me, I'm out in Douglasville and all this type of stuff. He's just, man, y'all, we out here in Birmingham. I'm not coming out there. But we got to keep this thing rolling, and we got bills to pay. And we have a guest here today, and we want to make sure that she gets ample time to talk about what she's doing and all the great things. This woman I've read her story. She's amazing. Yeah. She's really amazing. It's I'm not even gonna drop it to y'all just yet. You're just gonna have to wait. It might be Oprah. You never know.
It might be Oprah.
There's something to that too. It's not Oprah. Hi, this is Kevin Pride, Influencer 365.
And I'm Brian Brown.
Tonight we're here at Discussions, and we're going to have an interesting conversation about mobile domination. So Discussions is a great opportunity for you guys to come out and network, meet other business owners.
It was a great event with a lot of information about social media, digitizing, monetizing.
The most powerful thing about social media is, number one, is being able to connect with people that you might not see. Now I can connect with people in China, I can connect with people in Africa, I can connect with people all over the world.
I think it makes these networking events even more beneficial because I may not have met you in person, but I've seen you.
Everybody should come to the next one.
And we have discussions every single month, so please come and join us.
Welcome back to Influencer Radio. You are now here with Brian Brown and Kevin C. Pearl. I don't even think we announced ourselves. We just got to talk.
But see, this is what happens when you doing episode 2.
Yeah.
But we have nothing but illustrious guests.
I know. And our illustrious guest is here with us today, Miss Erica Strong. I don't know, we got some applause. Let me do this. She is a celebrity hairstylist. She is an author. She is an overcomer. She is a inspirational figure. She is a motivator. She is all kind of things. She is just all kind of awesome. Miss Erica Strong, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much, Kevin. That was nice.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. I'll pay you afterwards.
Okay. As long as I get that check.
I'll pay you
Cash.
Cash.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying? I ain't had dinner yet. But so tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit, about your history, how you came up, and give us a little bit of your backstory.
Okay, so I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
Wow.
You know, the place where The Wire was shot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
what you saw on The Wire is exactly what it is. They
Okay.
did not prop it out. That's how the city really looked, unfortunately.
Wow.
The place where my name is not Erica, but it's Erica.
Erica. Sounds like you might be from Montgomery, like me.
But yeah, I'm from Baltimore, and I went to college in Georgia.
Okay.
Thought I was going to move back to Baltimore. Right. I am the mother of 3 girls, 27,
Okay.
22, and 14.
Wow. You the 14. Beautiful. You live on TV now. No.
So yeah, so I have my girls, and like you said, I am a celebrity stylist. So being in Georgia, it's just amazing how that industry just really picked up in Atlanta, because when I first moved here, it was starting to kind of bud.
Okay.
But after just kind of being here and watching it grow and just really being in the crux of it all, like I really appreciate how people see this as a mecca for film and television and production. So just working in that industry alone.
Black folks see Atlanta as a mecca for
Everything.
Okay.
Right.
We is everything in the A.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us an idea of some of the people that you have actually worked with. Give us some. You name drop a little
Just
bit.
name drop a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So I've worked on several Tyler Perry's projects.
Tyler Perry. Okay.
Yeah, and one of the things I really appreciate about him, and I think if you have never worked with him, you can't really appreciate his genius. And people always say, "Oh, they're such a genius," but I really saw it with him and working in one of those projects and seeing how the script will be done, but as the scene is going, he's like, you know what? No, stop. Let's do it this way. It's
Okay.
like he's moving in the moment of the scene, and I just absolutely love that.
Okay.
And then of course Tommy, that is now resting.
Oh yes, Tommy.
Oh, when I say he was the most amazing director, like he was the most amazing director. Every director I've worked for, they're pretty good, but Tommy had a grace about him that, a lot of times in film, it can be really challenging. It can be real hectic and people are on edge and everybody's kind of yelling at each other. But Tommy was like chill the entire time.
Wow.
And literally once we were done, and we shot for probably about a month. When we're done, I had to go to him and say, Tommy, you are the best director I think I've ever worked with.
Wow.
There was no yelling and cussing and fussing and going crazy. He was so just graceful.
Okay.
And then Kim Fields, she and I actually met on that set with Tommy.
Now I remember Kim Fields from something growing up.
Facts of Life.
That's what it was. I knew it. I know
Facts of
it.
Life. And then Regine
Yeah.
from Living Single.
I remember Regine
Yeah.
Living Single.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so once
You had a crush on him?
I had a crush on Regine.
Did you?
Let me see if I can get a number for him.
Well, don't mess up.
Right, and she has
He
a
is
heavy
married.
home.
We're not
She
doing
has a heavy
that.
home too. But yeah, she and I met there, and we became really good friends.
Okay.
And then out of our friendship, she's just started pulling me so many different places and just invited me like to places where I was just meeting so many great people.
Okay.
So like a lot of work just came from our friendship. And then she wrote the foreword to both of my books.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you just said that trigger word, book. What tell us about the book? I know you're an author and you've written a book. I have such a great respect for people that write a book because I want to, and I keep sitting down, I get a paragraph, and I'm like, oh, well, I write it in a couple of years, you know. So what is that like to really author a book and tell your story? Because it's funny that you say that. That's part of our narrative today, you know, telling your story. So what is that like?
Awesome.
What is that process like?
Well, you know, honestly, for me, I never thought or even aspired to be an author.
Okay.
That came from me just journaling through what was happening to me in my life.
Okay.
So like in telling my story, I am married, I have my children, I have both of my businesses. I was a salon owner, or still am a salon owner, and so I had life happening.
Okay.
And my husband, she was one at the time. He went to work one day and just decided, well, I won't say one day. He went off because he worked for an airline. So he went off to go to a business meeting and was supposed to have been gone for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
After 2 weeks, he called back and was like, I'm not coming back.
Wow.
Like, seriously.
This stuff really happened. Like, I'm going to get some cigarettes. I ain't coming back.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, am I on, what was that movie with Eddie Murphy and all of them?
The whole night.
That's what it's like, now I can laugh about it, but it was serious then because I fell into a deep depression because she's one. I had my businesses, and then maybe 2 weeks later, he calls me and goes, well, let me let you know. He left for an R&B singer.
Okay.
He met her in his travels, and so he's like, you know, you're gonna see me in her videos. You're gonna see me on BET Awards. You're gonna see me.
How you tell your wife this though?
How you tell your wife this?
Like, I couldn't even imagine calling my wife, hey, you might see me in Rihanna new video.
Right, but it ain't nothing. Right.
We probably ain't really doing nothing, but we naked. Don't worry about it. You know, how's that?
Because, you know, I'm just helping her out. And I was like,
how do you
have a whole
process that?
family and a wife. Exactly. And so, of course, I fell into this deep depression. Trying to figure out, like, wait a minute, I am, you know, a mother, and I have a business, and I have my children, I have my family. Now the whole, because I'm maybe old-fashioned, but I believe the man is the head of the house. Okay. So, like, when that leaves, it's like, well, wait a minute, where's the head? Like, what am I supposed to do? And so in my depression, I just wrote everything I felt, and it was like, in the beginning of my journal writing, it was all grim and dark, you know, just like, oh, I feel so terrible, blah, blah, blah. But then I started reading books that helped me to understand the way that I think.
Now, what's some of those books that you read?
Joyce Meyer's was my favorite, Battlefield of the Mind.
Okay. I like her.
Yeah, Battlefield of the Mind. In her book, she said the battle is won or lost in your mind first.
Okay.
And in that moment, I was like contemplating not living anymore every day.
Wow. Is it
like,
in your writings that when you knew you were depressed, is that how you realized it?
Well, I knew I was depressed.
Okay.
I didn't even have to read my writing. It's like I would forget to eat. I was just a zombie, but I would put on my makeup and pretend like everything is okay because I still had a business to run and children. But like every day I would go home and I would just have to write it out. And I don't even know what made me want to write it, but I felt like I had to get it out. Yeah. Because it seemed like when I would talk to people, they'd be like, oh, poor Erica. So let me tell you about my problems. Wow. It was like I was always listening to other people's problems, which is why I'm a therapist now. Okay. I got my master's in marriage and family therapy because I'm always listening to everybody else. Right.
We're going to get that commercial.
Right. And so when I started writing and reading, I was reading things like Norman Vincent Peale and Emmett Fox and Marianne Williamson, and all these people was training me on how to think and how to speak and how to control my life because tragedy can happen. And one of the books, I think Norman Vincent Peale said this in one of his books. I can't remember the title, I'm sorry. But he said that when something happened in your life, that event is done. It's over. What you carry on is now you become your own abuser. So when he left me, his part of it was over. What I carried on in my conversations and my thoughts and my actions, I have become my own abuser.
You know, it's crazy. I heard T.D. Jakes say the other time, and I ain't promoting for T.D. Jakes. I don't even know the man. He won't call me back. But no, one of the things he said it's not what you go through, it's how you feel about it.
Right.
And I think that's so true. It's how we process it and how we feel about it. Because a lot of times, you know, this type of stuff happens to us, and we think it's us.
Exactly.
It's not this evil person that I done connected to. It's me. It's something wrong with me.
Exactly. Because I went through that. Like, am I not pretty enough? Am I not this? Am I not that? I went
You're
through
beautiful.
Thank you. And then, I was standing in the mirror like, well, what's wrong with me? And like, as I processed it all, I just realized, you know what, Erica? unfortunately, he didn't see the value in who you are.
Yes.
But I had to start really affirming myself, which is how when I started writing my book, it transitioned from this dark, grim writing to me writing. Like, I would let all of my emotions out, and then I would always affirm myself. So I learned how to write affirmations for myself.
Wow.
And so when I started my group page on Facebook, I just started doing affirmations, and it grew like crazy. It was like a global reach. Wow. Somebody in India was like, my child is really sick and I need somebody to pray for my daughter. Would you help me? Like, they were like really connecting on that level. I'm thinking like, I am just a girl that's like still trying to figure it out.
Real.
Yeah.
The energy is real. Yeah. I remember going through my thing, and my thing was not so much, losing my family or anything like that. I got a great wife. She loves me. I love her back. My thing was losing my business.
Ooh.
I just felt like life was over.
Right.
And a lot of times, you start to go on a spiritual journey when life really kicked you
yes.
in the butt.
Yes.
And one of the things I started to look into was ancient Egypt. And in ancient Egypt, they have what's called Hermeticism. And one of the 7 principles of Hermeticism is the all is mental. And everything is in the
Seriously.
all. And it's like life is all mental.
It's all mental.
And it's like we don't process it that way because we think these little small temporary situations.
Absolutely.
We don't look at this is helping to grow me and mature me because I said I want this.
Yeah.
And I ain't that person yet.
Yeah.
I got to become that person.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't change until we feel the pain.
Right. Right.
So,
right.
One of the things, PSA real quick, one of the things that you did make mention of is the fact that you were depressed. And I think that's one thing that we don't admit to enough in the black community.
Well, yep.
Because a lot of us, we grow up with crazy uncle upstairs and leave him in the room and this type of stuff, but we don't talk about, people really got some mental issues.
Yeah, and
depression's a real thing.
And depression has so many different faces. Depression can look just like this, all made up and all perfect. And like, I was depressed, like literally going home, like looking in the medicine cabinet. And I remember one day standing in front of the cabinet and seeing some pills from a form of surgery that he had. And I was thinking like, if I just take these pills, then it could be over, and at least I use the pills, his pills, to take. Like, I literally was taking poison and wanting him to die. That's kind of like what depression does. It's like you're blaming it on somebody else, but you are steady creating a dis-ease in your body.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you're creating this whole toxic community just all inside of yourself, and you wonder, how do I get sick? How do I, lose my hair? How do I, whatever? Like, you bring that on yourself. And that's what I learned about depression. Like, I could not be silent about it anymore. Because even depression can look like a person that is angry and bitter.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Where, like, life has happened to her and now she's just angry at the world. Well, you know what? That could be depression. And you, and you need help from that.
Wow.
Yep.
That is powerful.
So you went through this experience, you come out, you wrote a book about it, and so let's talk about the business of it. Like, one of the things that everybody wants to be something to the stars, something, a celebrity, something. How did you get into building your beauty empire, and what are some challenges you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Just real quick, before you do that, we gotta pay some bills. Okay. So we're gonna cut to commercial. This is going a little bit longer than what we planned, but Erica Strong is such a great guest. We want to keep her on. We want to keep her sitting here. We got some hot topics that we're supposed to be talking about.
Okay.
We might get to one of them, but we really want to hear your story. We really want to get this out. We're gonna go to commercial real quick, and then we'll be right back. Give us about 3 minutes, and we'll be right back. Hi, this is Kevin Pride, Influencer 365.
And I'm Brian Brown.
Tonight we're here at Discussions, and we're going to have an interesting conversation about mobile domination. So Discussions is a great opportunity for you guys to come out and network, meet other business owners.
It was a great event with a lot of information about social media, digitizing, monetizing.
The most powerful thing about social media is, number one, is being able to connect with people that you might not see. Now I can connect with people in China, I can connect with people in Africa, I can connect with people all over the world.
I think it makes these networking events even more beneficial because I may not have met you in person, but I've seen you.
Everybody should come to the next one.
And we have discussions every single month, so please come and join us.
And you are back. You are listening to Influencer Radio right here on the world famous Worldstar Hit Radio. We are sitting here with are we best selling yet?
Yeah, let's speak it.
Best-selling author, Miss Erica Strong, the Overcomer. Miss Erica Strong. Now, you and Brian was talking about something during the break. I kind of walked in on it. I had no idea what I was walking into, so I was like, I'm gonna let him ask that question.
It was so good.
Yeah, no, we were just basically what I asked her before we went to break. So a little teaser is to ask her about, what is it? How everybody wants to be something to the stars, and then you came out of this depression, and you're a best-selling author. You have these businesses. Like, how did you get to that point? Like, what are some things that you had to do for the business perspective to get to that point, and what are some challenges you faced, being as successful as you are right now?
Well, the first thing I did was got a mentor.
Okay.
Like, I literally had to find somebody that, and they weren't in my industry. Like, I found mentors in different industries that understood business and understood numbers. And so I just got some mentors that helped to kind of like process me through, okay, Erica, this is a good, road to take. This is a good investment to make, or just kind of giving me that grounding that I needed. Because in the salon world, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, like, we make so much money and it blows through our fingers if we're not good at being, good stewards over it. So, like, we can literally blow through it and not even know where it is. But so to have somebody that say, here's where you invest, this is what you do, this is how you earn it out, it always helped me to kind of keep a level head in how I spent my money. Because even at home, like, I could literally be driving in the big old Benz in the range and all that stuff, but I drive a Hyundai.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that, though.
Like,
I love that.
Paid for, and just making sure that my life where I live is nice and safe and beautiful for my children, but all the amenities, I don't have to look like it. Okay. One of my mentors told me years ago that most people want to look rich and are not. He said, so your goal is to be rich and not have to look it. You know what I'm saying? Not that you have to walk around looking slummy and bummy, but it's like you really have to make some sacrifices. So building wealth is what my main goal is. I can't spend it on stuff that's losing value. I can't spend it on stuff that is just not going to mean anything. So, like, for me, it's always about what is going to push me to the next level in business. So, do I want my Louis bag, or do I want my book on the shelf in Barnes & Nobles? I think I'll take that book on the shelf.
Nuggets! You dropping jewels today. That's what I'm talking about.
So, just the sacrifices that it would take, And
then you're a woman entrepreneur, you're a mom, and there's so many kind of stigmas about women in the workplace, but especially when you're an entrepreneur. With men, it's the thing is, we're supposed to be away from the house, or it's acceptable for us to be away from the house for like weeks at a time, days, whatever we need to do to bring home the bag. But when it comes to women, it's like, you're supposed to be in the kitchen. You're supposed to be taking care of the kids.
Don't say supposed to be, because people gonna go
I know you ain't told his wife.
Sorry.
I know you ain't told her. She's supposed to be in the kitchen.
Sorry, the perception is
the perception
is that you all are supposed to be taken care of home, right? So, being a single parent and being an entrepreneur, what are some? How did you balance all that? With your family and your business.
Yeah, it takes juggling seriously. It takes a great balance act, but I had to kind of come to peace with, I'm not a superwoman. Like, we try to put on this superwoman complex, and we try to do everything, and we burn ourselves out. But I had to really come to terms with, I'm not superwoman. I can only pace myself in the space that will help me to kind of propel with my children. But the most important thing that I did is I was very transparent with my children. Like, and I think as parents, we miss that because we think, oh, they don't understand. I let them know at a young age, sitting them down like, okay, so this is what my job looks like.
That's beautiful.
These are the hours that I work. This is the amount of money that I bring home. This is what I pay this and that and that. Like, I let them see everything that I'm doing.
That is so beautiful. And honestly, somebody else said something to that effect not too long ago. Is like, as black people, we don't train our children to be adults because they're not going to learn how to balance the checkbook in school.
Absolutely.
And that's one big thing. I have a 12-year-old and a 7-year-old, and my 12-year-old, she's always buy me.
With no
that's
concept of where the money's coming from.
And that's one thing that we started talking about.
Yeah.
Even with my 7-year-old, I'll sit down with her and she'll watch me pay the mortgage. And she'll see us, some of these bills that we pay out, because I think we were raised in a way that ain't none of your business.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, Mama. I don't mean to tell your business,
Right.
but we was raised in that way.
Exactly.
Kids ain't supposed to be in adult conversation. They don't even know what's going on, this type of stuff. So I love that you go over this with them and you are starting to train them and getting them ready, because there's a huge financial responsibility once you get out of mom and daddy house.
And it made them really appreciate my effort. So it wasn't like pouty little girls like, you're never here, because I was still there, and I really was able to balance. Because I'm an entrepreneur, I understood that I can take off the days that I want and just work heavier days. So I made sure on Saturdays, because they were out of school, Saturdays I'm off, and that's the day the stylists are in the salon. I'm off on Saturdays so I can spend time with my children. So that was a sacrifice that they knew, okay, mommy's gonna be late Friday because we're gonna hang out on Saturday. So helping them to understand that. And now my 27-year-old is an entrepreneur. My 22-year-old is an entrepreneur.
Wow.
So my oldest one, she's a professional makeup artist. And she is now like a celebrity makeup artist. She's all over the place. My other daughter, she's a celebrity stylist. And as a little plug, we have a TV show that we've been working on. It's called Unmasked.
Okay.
And Unmasked is bringing women that was in those positions that I was in, just, down and out, life is just hard. We bring them in and do a complete makeover, mother and daughter. So me and my daughters do hair, makeup, wardrobe, and then counseling.
So where can people kind of catch that at? Where can people see that, watch that?
Right now it's still in pre-production.
Okay.
So once it's done, they can definitely come to Unmasked on Instagram, and we'll be posting everything when it's picked up, when networks are looking at it now, because when they see a mother and 2 daughters changing the lives of women, that's just phenomenal by itself.
Eric, I got to tell you, you are a phenomenal woman, and I'm just in awe of a lot of stuff that you've done. I want to love strong. I want to stand strong. And I want to finish strong.
Yeah.
We're sitting here with Erica Strong. We got to get wrapped up because the producer, he over there doing this stuff.
Oh,
They don't.
It's so much.
No, let me tell you what's playing. So when we say last week was our first episode, it was really the first show.
Right.
So we're not radio people. We marketers, we news people, we all this other stuff.
Right.
We're not radio people, so this is new to us. So
Right.
they'll be over there, they start doing this type of stuff, and I'm like, huh?
No.
What you want me to do?
No.
But he trying to tell us to wrap up.
Right.
So we want to love strong, we want to stand strong, we want to finish strong. Miss Erica Strong, how can we get this book? How can we find out more about you? How can we join your group? And how can we be strong like Miss Erica Strong?
Thank you so much. So my website is ericastrong.com.
ericastrong.com.
So that literally is the hub for everything. You can go to ericastrong.com to buy the book. You can go just for inspiration. I do have a podcast that I just started, so this is all familiar for me now. So it's Finishing Strong with Erica Strong podcast. And any podcast channel, Erica, that is there.
Wow.
And then Finishing Strong on Instagram, and my group is Finishing Strong on Facebook.
Wow.
Okay. Cool. Well, next time we'll come to your studio.
I was going to ask now,
That'd be awesome.
you'll have me on together.
Yes.
I know, right?
I want y'all stories too.
Right,
Yes.
cool.
But thank y'all so much. We are here with Miss Erica Strong, and if you will give us just a few minutes, we want to get at least this next segment is sponsored by the Atlanta Business Journal. The Atlanta Business Journal, your source for all news, all business news, all Atlanta. We want to at least get one story out. So one of the headlines today, because you made mention of this, Black Wealth. So one of the headlines that we were doing some research for the show today, one thing that we must get out is that that story that we saw on Huffington Post about Black Wealth.
Yes. So basically, the story that was on Huffington Post, is that black wealth hardly exists even when you include NBA, NFL, and rap stars.
Wow.
And basically they were saying that it doesn't really matter how much these guys are making. And there was actually Forbes just released their highest grossing superstar or athletes out in pretty much across the world, and only 3 of them were black. And that was LeBron James.
I was going to say LeBron had to be in there. The King got to be in there.
Actually, it was 4 of them: LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Russell Wilson, who just kind of made that because of his deal.
Right.
And
y'all
so
really gonna do that, Draymond Green? Draymond Green don't get nothing.
Well,
Draymond don't get no bread.
Draymond's a nice role player.
I hope Draymond is clowning tonight. Go Golden State, go Warriors. Let's get forward. Let's get forward. We cannot allow the American United States Championship to go to Canada. Okay? We cannot allow that to happen. I'm sorry. I love Toronto. I know all y'all black play for them. That's fine. But we don't want our championship in Canada. That's all I got to say.
And just one thing on generational wealth. In another week, she's going to be taking a camp, and it's Generational Wealth Camp. That's the name of it.
Wow.
And they are taking them through every aspect of wealth. And I think the camp is from age 14 to 18, but literally they are teaching them meditation, they are teaching them exercise, they're going to do everything about being wealthy, because it's not just a dollar, it's about a whole lifestyle of wealth. And if she's learning it at 14, and even that camp, Generational Wealth, I'm not sure what their Instagram or anything is, but they are giving them $50 towards the scholarship fund on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Towards a college fund. Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Yes.
So they're starting that.
Very awesome.
Yep.
So do you think, I mean, with that said, even with all of the athletes and how much money they make and things like that, why do you think there's such a disproportionate ratio? I mean, as far as with this wealth gap, like we can never really close that gap.
Yeah, I think discipline is the biggest thing for where we are in our in the gap. Of course, we had a later start.
Okay.
But when we see them spending and buying stuff,
and some of our starts got burnt down. Let's be honest about it. We remember Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
If you do your research, we had one of the most busiest, most profitable business sectors, affluent black people all over the place, educated, making a lot of money doing the capitalism thing. But that was burnt down. I ain't gonna say who did.
Exactly.
But
I mean, the fact that they kept their economy inside of their community.
Yeah.
Like, I think they said it was like a 14 or 15 ratio before it would even leave that community. Like, literally, they said, y'all don't want our money? We're good. And they built their own bank, their own schools. Like, everything was inside of it. And, like, when I asked my daughter, did you ever hear about the Black Wall Street? And they was like, no. I'm like, that is, like, what we need to know that we can do something like that. We can build that wealth, especially if we know how to come together.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And honestly, we got to do it here in Atlanta. I think everybody know what that means now. They're saying, I ain't. Y'all need to stop talking. Cut the show. But thank y'all for tuning in. This is Influencer Radio. We are here. I am Kevin C. Pride. This is Brian Brown. And we are here with the beautiful and illustrious Miss Erica Strong. We are living strong. We are standing strong. And tonight we have finished strong. Thank you so much for tuning into Influencer Radio. Please join us next Thursday, right here on the world famous Worldstar Hit Radio from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Thursday.